In the world of medicine, sometimes things need to be done fast. Someone's life could depend on it. That's why one Israeli company set out to completely revolutionize and streamline a very important aspect of our healthcare. With me in the studio today is CEO of Aidoc, Elad Walach, to tell us more about it. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Aaron. Happy to be here.
I'm glad. So, first of all, what is Aidoc's breakthrough? What is this invention?
Right. So, today we have medical images, CTs, MRIs, and X-ray. And the amount of medical imaging today is just staggering. It's increasing all the time. And today, on average, 1 out of 3 U.S. citizens undergoes a medical imaging exam like CT or MR each year.
Wow.
So while the amounts of imaging is increasing, the amounts of physicians that can look at those images, specialized physician called radiologists, has actually stayed stagnant for years. So there is a very big overload problem today, and people sometimes don't get treated on time just because nobody looked at their images fast enough.
Of just radiologists being totally overworked?
Right. And, I must say that's not their fault. They're doing actually an amazing job with the tools they have, right? But the big problem is they don't have tools that can really support this much of a caseload.
I see. So what does it do? I mean, how does it work?
Right. So our software basically looks at each incoming scan and detects visual abnormalities in the data. And then we can highlight for the physician the most relevant areas of information in the scan. So we could help him streamline his work process. Imagine like a smart assistant helping you saying, hey, look, here, and here, those are the interesting, relevant information.
What's the margin of error with this algorithm?
Okay, it's a good question. And of course, we're always, progressing and developing. The big test would be in the clinical trials we're going to have in several months, although the accuracy so far is more than 95%, which is good.
That's incredible. So this is an artificial intelligence-based system, and it looks through the scan
right.
For the radiologist. Basically, it's another pair of eyes.
You could say another pair of eyes, where the whole purpose is to look while he is looking and helping him focus on the right areas. Right.
I see. And okay, so what are some of your early numbers? How big of a difference does this really provide to the workflow of the common radiologist?
Right. So the difference. Imagine that today you have maybe each moment dozens of patients waiting to be diagnosed each moment, right? Mm-hmm. About 30-40% of them are marked as urgent, which means they have to be diagnosed in less than 45 minutes. Right.
Is that possible?
It is not, basically.
It's not.
So what we're helping the radiologists is, so we're first helping highlight the most urgent patients, so you could, be taken care of right now. And then basically we help him to become more efficient doing the reading. And imagine even, a 10-15% increase in the workflow is very valuable, but our numbers so far are even better than that.
What are some of the higher numbers?
So I can't really disclose now,
okay.
Right? It's part of trials, but they're pretty good.
And then let's say you have these patients and they fall into these different categories of
right.
urgent, apparently non-urgent. This workflow change to the radiologist, how does that translate to patient care? Like how does that change their interface
right.
with healthcare?
Right. So I'll give the best examples we've seen. Imagine a car accident, mm-hmm. And you have multiple trauma patients. So you have 5 patients that need to be diagnosed right now, and look where they have if they need urgent care right now, right? Mm-hmm. So for the patients that get entered in the hospital, they could be taken care of much more efficiently instead of looking at hundreds of images per patient for 5 patients in a car accident. It could take more than an hour, and now they could be taken care of in less than 10-15 minutes.
That's incredible.
Wow. Yeah.
And you haven't really had many issues with this. I mean, it's been working as well as expected. Better.
Okay, so the phase of the company now. So we're developing the first prototype to be installed early next year in 3 hospitals. The results so far have been promising, but I want to, stay cautious until the end of the clinical trials. 2 hospitals in the U.S., some of the top hospitals, 1 hospital in Israel, basically.
Wow. All right. So on to my next question. What inspired this creation? How did you get onto the subject of radiology?
An interesting question. Actually, all the 4 founders, we come from the Israeli Ministry of Defense, from the army. We are all part of a program called Talpiyot, which is basically an elite technology unit of the Ministry of Defense. And during all of our service, we were really passionate about using technology to help save lives. Mm-hmm. And then we finished the service, we wanted to do it in the medical domain. And this specific need, so we went around the hospital, sat with physicians, saw how they work, and it immediately jumped up. You just see radiologists working today, and it's like crazy. They don't have time for bathroom break. It's like it's hectic today.
That's wow. So okay, I know you mentioned that you're in a few hospitals in the United States, 1 in Israel.
Right.
At what point do you hope that the clinical trials will be over and then you can expand and everybody will have this amazing thing?
Right, and everybody will be happy. So our current plans is we have to go regulation, which is called FDA, for this product. This process should take about half a year. So about a year from now, we hope the first commercialization would be.
Wow, that's soon. That's pretty quick for like an FDA approval and all that.
It's interesting because we're kind of a company in 2 domains, right? From one side, we're a medical device company. From the other side, we're kind of a big data deep learning company. And, they both are working in different paces. So we're trying to, combine working in lean startup, deploying fast, working with the market on the solutions, but on the other hand, working through the regulation and bringing a good medical device that physicians could trust.
Okay. I have another question about your algorithm, actually, just because I find that really fascinating. Being that it's artificial intelligence, at least to some degree,
right?
If it makes a mistake, is there a way to tell it and then it can kind of learn in the future not to make that mistake?
Okay, that's a very good question. So first of all, how do these systems train? We're using a new kind of machine learning algorithm called deep learning, which is based on very large amounts of data. So we're taking, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of images or scans and inputting into the algorithm. And in our beta sites we're working with, so basically they can help us, each time we make a mistake, they can say, okay, you made a mistake. But on the running product, we can't do that because of the regulation. It is a medical device. You want to trust that nobody entered any changes, the physician didn't insert any mistakes.
I see.
Right.
All right, so finally, I would like to congratulate you because Aidoc has seemingly won the 2016 Geektime Tech Fest convention. What does that mean for Aidoc?
So, first of all, we really like the convention and the competition. We're avid readers of Geektime. It's a very well-known newspaper here in Israel. The competition is mostly about the prestige, I guess, of winning the award and building the credibility of the brand. So
the word is out there.
So the word is out there.
And that is excellent. I cannot wait until this is in every hospital and, we'll give some radiologists a breather and some faster care for much needed. That is much needed for a lot of patients out there. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it again. And good luck.
Thank you.